Welcome to another edition of K Homes of San Antonio Realty, where we are your local real estate experts here in San Antonio. You can always reach us toll free at 1-800-261-7216. In this edition, we are going to be conducting a really deep analysis of Northwest San Antonio real estate market, and it's going to give you a very good idea as far as how healthy the real estate market is in Northwest San Antonio. As you can see in this shaded region right here, the Northwest San Antonio real estate market is a very sought out after area of San Antonio just because of its good communities, good schools, and also vibrant workplace. It's actually pretty well located in the city of San Antonio and features a lot of good topography and many qualities that people look for when they're moving to a home here in San Antonio. Let's go ahead and first start with price range. It seems like home price is really one of those big items when people are looking to buy a home. Most of the time they get with the loan officer, and loan officer tells them how much purchasing power they have, and this purchasing power kind of equates to how much home they could buy. So for the most part, a lot of people want to find out how much home can I purchase if I'm going to be moving to Northwest San Antonio. Now this is a frequency graph. It kind of shows about how much a home is selling for in a certain price range. In this graph, I went ahead and broke it up into $50,000 price increments. And you're going to see that for the most part, it's going to be most homes are selling, but kind of if you just go off the graph, it's saying 150 to 200,000, and a little bit off between 100, 150 to 200, 250. But what I love to use is something that gives you a little bit more detailed analysis as far as what the homes are really selling for. And let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. On the left, you have the table that generated the frequency graph on your left. But on the right, you're given more what they call a box and whisker plot. What I love about the box and whisker plot is that it goes ahead and gives you a better analysis of what the Northwest San Antonio real estate market is doing. And it takes away the extremes because most importantly, we are looking to kind of judge about what is it that, we rather know what is the lower range and what's a high range and what's the medium price. You're looking at on the low side, you're paying more. Most of the homes are going to start off at about 130,000. And on the high you'll be more at 222. The median price range is 162. Now how does the median, I don't show the average here because the median shows more of, if you took all the homes that sold for the month of August, because remember we're conducting this market analysis for the month of August, if we took all the homes and spread them all across, the one in the middle represents the median, and that's the one for 162,000. Now let's go ahead and jump to another indicator that's going to tell us more about what homes are doing in Northwest San Antonio. This indicator, the next indicator is price per square foot. I would say when people are out looking for a home, one of the ways they could equivalent different size homes is they're looking price per square foot. Now, one of the things that I went ahead and took it for all Northwest San Antonio, but this whole price percentage or price per square foot, it's going to be it's a very how to best put, it's going to depend mostly on the home, on the area. So this could vary greatly depending of what you're looking at, but it's going to give you a better sense of where the price per square foot for most, especially if you're looking at different communities in Northwest San Antonio, of where different ranges as well. And if you could see on this one here, you're going to find out that price per square foot on Northwest San Antonio, it's kind of ranging between 75 to about 90. If you find that the biggest peaks are actually between 75 to 95. Again, I went ahead and created a box and whisker plot that will give you a little bit more detailed analysis about the price per square. On the left again is a table, but on the right you're going to see my box and whisker plot for the price per square foot. And it kind of, same thing again. I love it because it takes away extremes and it kind of gives me a clear analysis that tells me that I'm looking for a home in Northwest San Antonio. I'm going to be paying between $72 a square foot more on the low end and $98 a square foot on the high end, with the median being at $84 a square foot. These are important figures to know because it's going to more in a sense give you an idea, okay, if I'm looking at a home, if the neighborhood or if the homes itself, the quality of the homes are more towards the lower end, then you're looking that you should be paying closer to $72 a square foot. As the flip side of the home, if the home is in a higher end neighborhood, also if it's a little bit better quality home, then you're going to be looking more at a $98 a square foot. And for the median price range being about $84 a square foot. Again, this is really good for a buyer. Now, for a seller, a lot of times, this is just a starting point. For a seller, you definitely want to go ahead and get a market analysis. That could be done either by us or by any real estate professional that really knows what is it that they're doing. Now, let's go ahead and continue on with our market analysis. Next thing that we're going to be looking at is days on market. This is important for buyers because it kind of gives you an urgency as far as how long are homes staying on the market in Northwest San Antonio. Kind of gives you an idea of, if how soon a home may leave a market, because it's very devastating for a buyer to go ahead and be looking at a homes and then find the right home, and then they say, you know what, no, but there might be something else out there, and because they kind of get confident in that home has been on the market for a couple of days, that it still will be there. And unfortunately, right now, especially with the way the market is in Northwest San Antonio, it's not the case. Most of the homes right now are selling at pretty good levels for Northwest San Antonio. So a lot of times some people might be heartbroken. Now, on the opposite side, this is fantastic for sellers. They love this. They want their home to sell fast because now, the only thing that you may anticipate, though, or if you're a seller, is you got to just be careful in regards to timing. If you put your home on the market in Northwest San Antonio, the way all indicators are looking at, your home will sell if it's properly marketed to the right. And when I mean properly marketed, it's priced well and it's out exposed to buyers. So if it is, you're going to fall more in statistical lines and your home is going to sell in these ranges I'm going to show you. And if it does, then you have to make sure you have all your plans set in place. Either if you're going to be buying another home, moving out, renting, whatever may be the case, or if you're going to be planning on a lease back. It's more involved, but it's very good to know what to do in this case. Now, on days on market, when it comes to a home here in San Antonio, the graph is more showing that most homes are staying between 20, 24, 32, 36 days. If you see how those peaks are, the peak on the right just shows that a lot of homes, if they're priced incorrectly, are going to stay more than 100 days. But again, let's go ahead, and I want to show you the box and whisker plot that goes along with the days on market, because this is going to give a really good indicator of what the homes are selling for. Now, if you look at the box and whisker plot, again, left on the table, but look at the right. The right is telling us that a home that is for sale in San Antonio, in Northwest San Antonio, on the low end, it's going to take about 24 days for it to sell. On the high end, you're looking closer to about 88 days. And at the median, being closer to 43 days. So it kind of gives you a real good idea of if you're a seller, what to expect. Again, it takes away extremes, because if you look, the person sold their home in one day, but that's not the case in most cases. Most of the cases on the low end, if you have your home priced right and you have it in a nice neighborhood, and that all indicators people are looking for homes in that neighborhood, it's going to take between 24 to 88 days, with most homes being at 43 days. Which kind of equates to about a month and a half. So it kind of gives buyers the sense that if you see a home, you like it, don't want to wait too long and making an offer on the home and try to secure that home with a contract. Just because as you can see, all of the way the indicators are pointing to, 24 days is not a whole lot of days to be working with. Now let's go ahead and move to the statistical feature, and this one has to do with square feet. I think people also, when they're looking to purchase a home, they kind of want to have an idea of how big of a home, or how big are the homes in here in Northwest San Antonio if I'm going to be moving to that part of the town. And this graph, or this frequency table, kind of shows that most of the homes are actually kind of between 1750 to about 2250, 2500 square feet, somewhere in that range. That's kind of more of where you see the bulk of the homes being at. I would say let's go ahead and analyze the box and whisker plot and get a better analysis of that data. Now, if we look at the box and whisker plot, it goes ahead and shows us that many of the homes in Northwest San Antonio, as far as size, are going to be on the low end 1590 square foot, and on the high end closer to 2614, with the median being at 2059. Now again, this stats that you see here makes this first one-story and two-story homes. So I would say for the most part, it's a little bit more. This is really what these are taking the two and averaging them together because it's equating both. So but it kind of gives you an idea as far as what to expect, and I would say that these numbers are pretty good in line. Now I would say if you had changed it to two-story homes, two-story homes are going to be showing numbers that are a little bit higher in the range. So I would say you would move each of these maybe 100, 200 square feet. And if you're looking at strictly at one-story homes, you would do the other way around. You go ahead and move everything about less than 100 or 200 square feet than what you see now. Because again, they kind of I took all the data and put it all together. Now let's go ahead and move to our next statistical measure, so you get a better idea of Northwest San Antonio. And this is going to be the last thing we're going to be looking at, which is sold to list price ratio. Now, another way to really describe this section is percent discount, because really what this analysis does here, it gives you a real good idea of how much less did somebody buy a home for than what they listed it at. You know, most sellers are going to put a price on a home, and then after that, a lot of people want to come and negotiate. It kind of gives you an idea of how much is a seller negotiating off a price of a home. And this is some real good numbers to look at, because if you come in way too low from what somebody's looking to, or somebody listed the home, a lot of times they'll get offended and they may no longer or not take your offer seriously, or they may just go ahead and come back at a real high number because they're like, it's kind of like they think you're throwing a wild pitch. Every time you throw a wild pitch, it's in baseball, it's one of the hardest things to hit sometimes. So when you're looking at this, I love looking at this because it's, when I'm working with people, I kind of show them, this is what things are happening in the market. So this is how much you should be expecting to get as far as percent off. And it gives some realistic goals for buyers, and also gives a real good idea for sellers of how much you should be negotiating or how much you should be expecting as far as percent off, when it comes to if you do sell your home. Now this one, let's analyze this table graph right here and see what is it that kind of how it looks. And you're going to find out that if you look at most of the ranges are actually, it looks like most of the graphs are between 96 to 100% as far as what people were negotiate off the list price of their home. Again, I like to look at the box and whisker plots because it's going to give me a better analysis of what is the real percentage off that people are getting off homes. Now, if I look at the box and whisker plot, the box and whisker plot is indicating that for the most part, on the low end, people are negotiating about 6% off the home. And on the high end, they're actually getting more closer to 100% off the home, with some cases people overbidding after that. Now, one of the things that I want you to pay attention to is look at the median price. Median price has a 98. Now, anytime you see that line, if it ever gets closer, like in this case, you see how it's closer to the right side on the high side, it's really indicating that there's a real big bulk of homes that are selling between 98 to 100%. So it's really signaling to the buyers out there that if you are looking to buy a home and the home is priced well and it's getting a lot of movement, that most people are paying, they're only getting maybe 2% off the home on average, with an expectation that 6% will kind of be more in the sense that the low limit you're going to be able to get off the percent off of a home. And with a lot of people still paying about, well, not a lot of people, but a good chunk of people paying about 100% or more off the price of the home. So it's more in a close to, not a, it kind of feels more towards seller's market because that means that a seller is holding stricter to their price and not really coming off much of that home. And buyers are okay with it because they're afraid they might lose a home. And since there's not a whole lot of inventory, or as long as the inventories are shrinking in Northwest San Antonio, it kind of forces this range here because, and it kind of goes along with the other one, the days on market. Now let's go ahead and that was our last slide that we're presenting there. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this video. And when it comes to if you need help in purchasing a home, feel free to call our office toll free at 1-800-261-7216. We would love to help you, and we would love to kind of show you and really do the best of your interest if you're going to be buying a home. And also we work with people that are selling the home. So if you're going to be selling a home, you definitely want to go ahead and have a professional that knows how to conduct a good analysis for you and kind of expect all the steps and explain it all to you and be able to really go ahead and tell you what's the most dollar you could get for your home. And we could do that for you. You could visit us online at khomes.org or call us toll free at 1-800-261-7216. Remember, one of the most important things, you see all these stats, but each subdivision is unique, each home is unique, so you definitely want to go ahead and get unique comparisons if you're buying or if you're selling. So feel free to give us a call if we could go ahead and help you in those cards or in those returns. Thank you. Bye-bye.